your retirement. You could also be a management consultant. This is something that I considered doing. It's quite interesting because you get to advise companies on their business strategy. So for example, in this world of healthy eating and healthy lifestyles, how do McDonald's and Coca-Cola increase their sales, their profits, and their share price? Okay, that's the kind of thing a management consultant would do. Another thing you could do is think of any company that you like. Yeah, Ferrari, could be Louis Vuitton, it could be McDonald's, Coca-Cola, and so forth. You could work for them in their finance department. Okay, so you'd be in charge of doing things like financial statements, managing cash, managing credit, advising on strategy and things like that. You could work for the government in the Reserve Bank of Australia doing financial analysis to shape economic policy. And you could also be an academic like me if you wanted to teach and research on issues that are relevant to you. Okay, and I'll just see a few questions in the chat here. I'll respond to some of those later. In response to Kieran, we will touch upon the assessments shortly. Okay, some of your other questions require a little bit more time, so we'll get back to that shortly. Another thing why you might want to study finance is so you can understand what's happening in the news. So for example, we have coronavirus right now, or COVID-19, that's having an impact on everything and anything. So it's also having a large impact on the financial markets and all of those types of things. So understanding finance will help you to understand what's happening in the news. And lastly, personally, okay, finance affects everyone and it will have a large impact on your lifestyle. Okay, understanding finance will help you make better financial decisions. That could be relating to your investments in your savings accounts, property in the future, shares in the future. It will help you understand mortgages so you can buy your first house. And it will help you understand your superannuation decision, which is really, really important to get right now so it pays off later. And sorry, I'm just popping back to the chat here for a sec. So basically, in response to Himanshu, all of the students are listed as attendees and all of the panelists are me. So I'm the only panelist. So if you're replying to all panelists and all attendees, you should be able to see everything that's going on in the chat. Let me know if that answers your question. Okay, so there's no other chat happening. It's just the one that's with all panelists and attendees. Okay, so I just want to reiterate some things about the classes that we're running for this subject because it's a bit of a unique situation. So as you know, we've got Corona or the coronavirus floating around. So unfortunately, we're not going to be fully back on campus for spring 2020. So this is to ensure we adhere with the Australian government's protocols and guidelines. So I just want to assure you that there is no requirement for you to go to UTS campus if you do not want to, or if you're not able to. Okay, I understand that there's risks of the coronavirus. So if you don't want to go, you don't have to. Okay, so this is the way that we're going to do the lectures. So there will be no on-campus lectures to minimize lots of people going to campus. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to have a live Zoom class on Thursdays at 1:30 p.m. So this is the class. This is the live Zoom class that we're going to have. And what we're primarily going to focus on is that in these Zoom classes is we're going to look at a summary of the key content. We're going to focus on relating things to the real world, and we'll do some additional examples. So in response to Aidan's question, I'll get to Aidan's question in a second. So in addition to the online Zoom classes that we're doing now, these will be recorded and put on UTS Online so you can watch it later. In addition to that, we have pre-recordings of the lecture slides. They're available on UTS Online every week. They will become available on UTS Online roughly 5 days prior to the live Zoom class. And it is advised that you watch those pre-recordings prior to coming to this Zoom class. So I won't ask how many of you guys have done that for lecture one, but the lecture one pre-recordings are available on UTS Online already. Okay, regarding to Darcy's question, all subjects are doing their own thing. So what I'm telling you now applies to FBF only. I'm not sure if that applies to all the other subjects, unfortunately. Okay, so that's how the lectures are going to run. With the tutorials, we're going to have both on campus and online tutorial classes which start next week. Okay, so with the online tutorial classes, they will be on Thursdays and Fridays. They'll be live on Zoom, and I'll post up the Zoom links to these classes before next week's class so you know where to go. And the recordings of one of those classes will be posted on UTS Online every week. Okay, so if you can't attend, you can watch the recording. In addition to that, we will have on-campus tutorial classes. They're held on Thursdays and Fridays at UTS as well. So due to social distancing protocols and things like that, and requirements to take attendance for contact tracing reasons, we have a limited number of spaces in those classes still available. So please only attend the on-campus tutorials if you're enrolled in those tutorials. Just in case something happens relating to someone getting coronavirus or something like that, or having it, we just really want to know who's on campus so we can correctly manage the situation. Okay, I think there's still some spaces left on those on-campus tutorials. So if you want to attend, make sure you enroll in those on the UTS platform. Okay, and just note the online tutorials and the on-campus tutorials are similar. They cover the same content, so it's really up to you which one you prefer. So that gives you a little bit more flexibility. And just note that if the Australian government decides that all classes need to be online, we may have to make all lectures and tutorials online, but we'll deal with that when we get to that. So just quickly, Patrick, regarding your question about lecture recordings. So there's pre-recordings in one folder on UTS Online. Okay, so that does the pre-recordings for lecture one. They're available now. However, this live Zoom class will become available subsequently. Okay, and just some more things relating to the tutorials. So there's two types of tutorial questions. One is called the homework questions. So these questions are all available on UTS Online for all the weeks already. So the idea is that you get to do those questions at home before coming to class. The work solution to those tutorials will be available on UTS Online. Okay, and if you need help, you can ask your tutor or ask me or put them on the discussion board and so forth. In addition to that, we have what's known as the in-class questions. Okay, so these are unseen questions that your tutor will provide you. Okay, and the idea is that you'll be given time in the tutorial to go through these questions with the aid of the tutor, and it will help you practice the knowledge